Did you guys know that the U.S. Postal Service has an enforcement arm? I did not. And this story has it all. According to U.S. prosecutors, 21 have been alleged money mules for moving money into cryptocurrencies and then moving it around the globe on behalf of different scam artists. This article on CoinDesk right now has a lot of different stories linked in it. The total volume for this trafficking is about $300 million. So pretty sizable amount of money. All these instances are smaller than that, about $3 million and smaller. And it's just individual people who have been assisting scams moving money internationally using your favorite cyber coin of choice, maybe crypto, maybe stable coins, maybe something else. Pretty interesting story just to sort of zoom out. Remember that, yes, crypto is here. Yes, there's crypto adoption, but we might not like how it's being used. David, I want to throw this one up to you. I think this falls in line with some of the other stories that you've worked on in the past.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought about this is to point out that they got caught. And I think that's pretty significant that there is, there's police work that goes into finding criminal networks. And it wasn't, just something that they were able to make secret because they did it through Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is not actually that useful for crime. And eventually, I think criminals will figure it out. I mean, I don't know the specifics of the investigation here, but they obviously used some real world intelligence, probably combined with the transparency of the Bitcoin blockchain to be able to figure out what was going on. And so, you do see stories like this. And I hate to sound like such a homer, but I think it's important to keep in mind that, Bitcoin is a part of this, but it's not the defining feature. And at least in this case, it's not necessarily what enabled the fraud. It was just one of the ways they decided to execute it. Zach, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that's very spot on. I mean, I think, the chain analysis of the world feast on stuff like this, right? Chain analyses.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's chain
sponsoring
analyses.
crypto. I just plugged them. The sponsor of Crypto Crooks. Dang it. Anyway, those firms such as TRM Labs, Chain Analysis, and others probably feast on these things because there's on-chain crumbs that lead back to where the source of these nefarious deeds are. And again, these are open ledgers. They give the ability for law enforcement and others within the industry to self-regulate. I've argued before that I think that's a huge feature and not a bug of the crypto world, and that the openness and the ability to self-regulate these technologies is what gives it a fighting chance to advance and continue to exist in a way that's not super scary to regulators. So anyway, I think that this is the story here. The idea that Bitcoin is some super secret shadowy money that is going to help you get your affinity scams, or I don't know, what was it here? It was like dating scams or something was mentioned.
Romance scams, I think.
Romance scams. There you go.
Romance
to help you execute your romance scams flawlessly. I mean,
that's got
to go out the window, right? That's not really what Bitcoin is about. So, I think we've seen over the years tons of these examples of just regular old crime that touches Bitcoin in some way. Oftentimes, Bitcoin is the clue that leads back to these actors. I'm not sure if that was what happened in this instance, but sometimes those are indeed, that does indeed end up being true. So yeah, one for the crime beat, run for the crime docket here. But I'll toss it to Jen, our resident semi-lawyer.
I had the same takeaway as everyone else on the show. I was reading this and was like, I just want to point out that 21 people were caught committing crimes that involved money laundering and crypto, and we didn't need any more regulation. Can you believe that? We just needed the law enforcers to do their jobs. It didn't take any more regulation, and the criminals were caught. Will, wrap us up.
I think you guys are focused on the entirely wrong point here, and that is that the U.S. Postal Service has an enforcement arm. And I want to note that they do have the ability to carry deadly weapons, according to my 30-second Google search on Quora. They do have the ability to bear arms. So if you see someone out there carrying a package and a weapon, be careful. They might be coming to indict you with a warrant. Just be careful out there.
Yep, and that was the last time Will was on the show because he went to get a job as a postal inspector.
Honestly, that'd be so cool.
Enforcer
person. Yeah.
If you were a postal
door-to-door job,
enforcer?
Friendly neighborhood man, get a pet dogs, and you get to carry a holster. I mean, it's pretty cool.
You get a sweet uniform too. I think you even get a hat.
Yeah.